Hi viewers, today we are in Rochdale and we are honored. Today's personality is a sitting councillor and is also serving as a deputy mayor of the city. Welcome, Aasim.
Welcome, sir, and thanks for having me in your show.
Mr. Rashid, I know your full name is Aasim Rashid, but we will prefer to, request as Aasim. So please tell our viewers about your early days and childhood.
Actually, I was born and bred in Lahore, Pakistan, and my basic primary high school education in Lahore. And then I studied in Government College, Lahore, got masters in economics from Punjab University. So I came to UK early 2000. So I've been living in UK, in Rochdale especially, about more than 20 years now. So I've started my political journey in about 2010. And before coming to UK, when I had my economics degree from Punjab University, Lahore, I served in one of the big multinational company in Pakistan, which is called Cllr Textile. So I served about 2 to 3 years in Lahore as a commercial executive. And then I came to UK, and initially I had some kind of business studies from UK, and then I started my business. I've run a retail company in UK, and now I'm serving as a deputy mayor. So as I mentioned, that I've joined my politics career in 2010, and it's an interesting achievement. I'm not a student of a political science, but I was a student of commerce, and then I came into politics. So, which is a combination of two things: economy and politics. So, how economy has a major role in politics, we will discuss later. But I have a very interesting stories to tell you how we merge our economy into our political life.
So you started your career with economics, then you came into business. So at what stage you decided that you are going to join the politics, especially in the local government?
Well, was one thing which is very clear, that in UK the local government is very powerful, and the local government has the basic powers, especially in different regeneration programs, adult care, environmental health, schools. These are the basic things which we run day-to-day business in local government. I thought probably I had some kind of educational background from economics, and I can put some role, because in 2010, when our Labour government, we lost our election in 2011, the Tories came into power, and they started an austerity program. Austerity program was based on the severe budget cuts from councils. And obviously the councils are just giving day-to-day life to the communities. And when you start cutting the budget from the communities, the communities' frontline services at risk. And when the community frontline services is not performing properly and not delivering their objectives, so that caused issues, which was the serious issues. Especially we had police reforms when they cut the police budgets, and you can see the police presence is nowhere on the roads at present. Previously, we had a lot of police presence, but only it depends on your budgets. The same thing is a different when you have a school cuts, when you have to shut down your libraries, when you have to shut down your show start. Show start was the basic thing where the parents can take your kids at the early stage, early education. So these serious financial cuts, which came from the central government.
We'll come to that point, but from the start of that, do you have any personality who you have followed as that person is my hero, that person is my favorite personality in politics? Because everybody has role models in his life.
Yes, of course. First thing, I always admire Imran Khan from Pakistan. when he was a cricket player, and then he came into politics. And I always, and his basic objective to came into politics is basically the social justice system, and he wants to bring a justice system in. And then when I came to UK, and I've seen Tony Blair, he is one of the charismatic person, and how he turned Labour into New Labour, and when he came into power in 1996, that New Labour was a different Labour Party, and obviously that gives you just like a passion and some kind of vision from these kinds of leaders, that if they can serve their communities, if they have leadership qualities, why can't you use your abilities to bring your visions and your abilities into the politics and serve the communities? So that's
these two personalities you have mentioned, if we look at the foreign policy, which has caused a lot of damage to Labour Party's politics, and especially internationally even also. And at the same time, when we talk about the Imran Khan, now he's in power for 2 years. But a lot of common people in Pakistan are feeling that the change which was promised during the election or prior to election, it was not served. So what is your say on this?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. You always make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes. And I bluntly said that the Tony Blair made a mistake in the Iraq war, which he served after 2005, and he has to resign as a Labour leader, as a prime minister. So, but on the other side, if you see the good things, at that time, from 1996 and 2008, the Labour Party served the communities, and they deliver. The economy, obviously, there was an international credit crunch in 2008, and before 2008, if you see, the prosperity in this country was better. But if you see the tenure from 2010 to now in 2020, you can see a lot of issues within UK politics. We are suffering from severe kind of budget cuts and austerities programs. Our foreign policy is different. Inequality and Islamophobia are on rise. Racism, there is a lot of things. But on that one, equal opportunities were there. If you see, the immigration policy is far better. Highly skilled professional people was invited into UK in that time. There's a lot of migration, was a positive migration was in UK.
But presently, the sitting government has introduced highly migrant program, especially the point-based system, in which they have required people who have PhDs and very highly skilled skills, so they can come to the UK to help the economy and the country.
Now that's another U-turn from the government. If you see their policy from 2011 onwards, right, they stopped just like a PSW, which was a post-study visa. International students used to come in this country. They used to have degrees from universities, and then that's the PSW was introduced by Labour government. And now they scrapped the PSW, and then they scrapped everything. And now they realize that there should be a positive immigration they need. So that's how we always stand for. We need a positive immigration. We need highly skilled people in our country from different parts of the world. And the people who have the ability, they should be invited to UK, and that they should be a part of UK economy and UK community. So the same thing, when you realize you make a mistake, but until that, probably the damage has been done. So there's the same thing. Last 10 years, we suffered a lot. A lot of professionals has to leave the country, especially in NHS. You remember, there's a lot of doctors that they used to come from South Asia and other region of the world, right? They left, and now the NHS is struggling sometime.
So at the moment, NHS under a huge pressure because of the COVID-19, and recently we appreciate all the professionals from the cleaners to the doctor level and to the consultant level. They have done a fantastic job. So we appreciate, and we are grateful for that service. But what is your suggestion to the central government, so how we can give more and more to the NHS staff, and especially the people who are fighting on the front lines?
Yeah, obviously, the first one, I really appreciate the frontline services, just like NHS, especially in this a difficult time, and we're going through unusual circumstances at present. And the way they served They put their lives on risk. And but for the communities, they never realized that one of the difficult time when the COVID-19 patients were there in hospitals, and even overcrowded hospitals, we were struggling for the staff. And that was the reason, because we always cried for that we need to fund NHS, we need to give some extra funding to NHS. We are against the privatization of NHS, because the NHS is one of the institution, one of uh, same National Health Service, which provide the basic health to a common man. There shouldn't be any kind of discrimination. Well, if you compare our NHS and the American-based medical services, if you have a money, if you're rich, you can have your better health service. And if you're not able to afford your health service, I think this is discrimination. That's why we always raise the voice that there should be equal opportunities, and there shouldn't be any backdoor privatization on NHS. That will affect the NHS. But if you see during this difficult time, as a lot of doctors from ethnic background, they serve the NHS and they put their lives in risk. And that how when you work, when you live in an integrated society, when you live in a tolerant society, that's how it works. You have to respect each other, and you have to respect your profession as well. So
Do you
that's
think
what
that the recent the central government said on a certain day we should clap, but do you think that the government should move a step ahead and pay more to the NHS staff and all the professionals?
exactly. This is not only NHS. This is some other issues as well. NHS obviously they're working on the front line at present. They deserve the rewards. They deserve the better pay. They deserve better living. But in the meantime, government should give incentives to all the communities. There should be not a basic wage. There should be a living wage, and the living wage mean you pay a person who can live a decent life, and that's the main thing, and that's how it works. But the way this austerity is coming down and down, you're just damaging the people's life. And this austerity means you're cutting the budgets not only for NHS, you're cutting the budget for police, you're cutting the budget for councils, you're cutting the budget for schools, you're cutting the budget for environmental health. So these basic things, I'll give you an example, right? If you go out and your roads infrastructure is not right, so how you feel? If your bins collection is not on time, how you feel? If your local libraries has been closed down, how you feel? So this is a basic day-to-day life. We are not
So
talking about the luxury
we
life.
are
We're
coming
talking the
back to
basic life.
the local governments, Mr. Rashid. So we're going to focus on the local government. So at recently and difficult times, so what policies have been introduced by your council, especially for the schools, and what measures has been taken, especially I will say the precautionary measures?
Yeah, obviously the COVID-19. So the main now, you know, we're still under the smart lockdown. The Greater Manchester Council, especially Rochdale, was on rise in infection rate, and we just give a free mask to all the communities. We made sure that there should be a social distancing in force. Now the schools are open yesterday, and the schools are taking extra precautionary measures to make sure that there should be a social distancing between students, teachers, and staff. And there is no public gatherings allowed at any stage. All our council meetings has been cancelled, and we're doing the council meetings not face to face. I mean, we're doing only Zoom. Weddings is not allowed, and more than there was a certain areas where they allowed about up to 30 people in a community halls and stuff. But we never allowed anybody. Only one family bubble within a family is allowed. No other family is allowed, even in a private garden, to meet any other families. So these kinds of measures we have taken, and we try to make sure that there should be an enforcement. People should follow the rules. We have awareness sessions. We engage different religious leaders, we engaged different community leaders, and our community safety teams, our public health teams, they were in the field. We visited our businesses, and we made sure that the businesses should follow the social distancing rules. They
So
make
how
sure
is,
that
sorry for interference. So
yeah, yeah.
how is the response from the communities in all this reference?
Communities are very cooperative, and they fully understand that this is COVID is just like it's an invisible enemy. When you're fighting against an invisible enemy, you don't know, and especially even suppose if I don't know, because the symptoms sometimes doesn't show up to 4 to 5 days. So if I'm not taking precautionary measures myself, and even suppose I'm COVID positive, and I'm not taking it, so I can transfer this infection to someone else. So community realize at the initial stages probably there was not much awareness. That's why this infection was on a high rate. But with the passage of time, when they realize that this is a very dangerous infection and it's a life threatening, the people they really cooperate with us. Local businesses, they cooperate with us. Mosques, you remember, and during Ramadan and especially in Eid, the Eid al-Fitr and namaz pray, we never prayed for Eid al-Fitr. Churches, all other religious places, they all cooperated.
That's
So
fantastic. Now, because of the time restraints, I will go for my next question.
yeah.
So, because at the moment you have responsibility in Greater Manchester, so please share with our viewers your cabinet responsibilities. So, what are your responsibilities, and how you are, serving the community?
I'm serving as a deputy mayor of Rochdale at present. Obviously, as a deputy mayor, we have a responsibility as a civic responsibility. On the Rochdale basis, we serve for the charities, the local charities. We collect the money to serve the local charities. And we always scrutinize charities on the basis of their needs and on the basis of their work, whatever the work they've done previously. So the first thing is these charities we just serve. And then we, as a mayor, you had the full council meeting, and the mayor is always non-political and is a representative from the crown for the local borough. So these kind of major responsibility when you become a mayor, you are symbol of your community as a crown symbol, that you're representing Queen in your borough. So you had the council, you work for the charities, you work for the good causes, and you make sure that whoever the charities is suffering, you help them so they can perform better in future.
Your city is also part of the Greater Manchester. You have mentioned you are working with the Greater Manchester team. So, how that connectivity works?
Yeah, obviously, I'm one of the member from the Greater Manchester. Mayor Andy Burnham appointed me as a deputy for a deputy mayor police. So I'm just that is another separate work. We work on integration actually, and we work under policing. The police major work is not only to serve the community or to protect the community. The police always plays a very important role in equality, against injustice, against antisocial behavior. If there is any kind of incidents, just like a hate crime or any, just like you can say the Islamic phobia on rise. So we work, our community safety teams work closely with all communities across the board to bring the people together. And we just try to explain people that when you're living in a tolerant society, you have to adopt that kind of things, that you respect each other. There shouldn't be any kind of hate. And we always serve on the 0% tolerance against any kind of hate crime or any kind of racism or any kind of religious hatred. Sometimes obviously you can see that in the community there's a lot of negative freaks. They try to divide communities, but our message is very clear. We stand together, and we will not tolerate any kind of decisive or any kind of deviation into the community. We have to bring communities together so we can live in a tolerant society.
So what is the next after becoming the Lord Mayor's responsibility? Do you have a special plans for the city?
Yes, obviously, next year. This year, I was supposed to be mayor in last May, but for the COVID reasons, we cancelled our mayoral reception until 2021 May. So next year in 2021, when I'll take an oath as a mayor of Rochdale, the first priority, obviously, as I mentioned, at the local charities, and I've already shortlisted about 5 local charities. They're working brilliantly, especially in Rochdale. So my first aim is to raise money for them so I can help them financially. So in the meantime, when you raise money for them, you work with them closely and you try to understand the needs, whatever the issues within their charities. So you try to resolve them as well. But in the meantime, as a mayor, my other responsibility to work all the communities living in Rochdale. And I want to show a symbol of unity. Obviously, I'm from the ethnic background, but I'm a British citizen. So Britain is one of the tolerant society and it's the best society where you live in a multicultural society, an integrated society.
Mr. Aasim Rashid, thank you very much for joining me. At the end, what is your message for our viewers?
Well, my message is very clear, and especially I'll always give my message to youth. The youth is our future. Think positive, always respect each other. Especially youth, you should engage with the education. You should have a proper education because the education is a key to success. The main thing is a lot of issues within a community. It's just like, if you can say, I know there is issues. Sometimes the youth is frustrated and they don't have any proper employment and other things. If you become a graduate and you don't get a job. But I think if you remain positive, bring your abilities out. How you if you think you can be a good businessman, join a business. If you think you're a good politician, join a politics. If you think you'll be a good teacher, there is nothing, no highly skilled or low skilled. No, there's always one message. This is an equal society, and we have to work in under equal opportunities. That's my message to youth. Be positive.
Thank you very much. A very beautiful and positive message. Think positive and work for society. Keep watching Sheffield Live TV. Thank you very much.